Hi everyone, I wanted to send you a video and talk about some new changes that have been made to the program and with your culminating project. So if you remember, last spring Dr. Catapano sent out an email with course names and course number changes. And so one of these changes is the culminating project is now called an Advocacy research project. And so the name of the course also changed. But with this advocacy research project, over the summer, our program also decided we needed a way to measure how well students are doing on their projects. And so we developed this rubric that I'm going to talk through. And this is going to be used by your committee, and so that would be myself, Dr. Catapano, and your mentor. So looking at this first sheet, there is a letter that goes to your mentor, and I will email this at the beginning of the course once I have everyone's mentor's contact information. And so it's an overview of why you as a student have to do the research project, that it's part of the program requirements. Something that is new, and over the summer we refined and developed new student learning outcomes for the entire program. And so these are called the SLOs. These are outcomes that through all of your coursework you'll target, but because your culminating project or your advocacy research project is a culminating event for your program, we should see aspects of each of these student learning outcomes somewhere in your projects. So taking a look at the rubric. Okay, so this first column, these are the SLOs, and like I said, we're using them to evaluate all the courses in the program, but your project is going to tap into each of these somehow. So all of you are picking some kind of either historical or contemporary issue that affects young children and families. So that, just given your topic of whatever you picked, somehow it does impact children and families. What you want to make sure as you are carrying out your project, and when it comes closer to time for your oral defense and turning in your final paper, is this middle section, the description that has specific questions. Just make sure that either in your written paper or in your oral defense that you are mentioning this at some point. For example, the piece about the policy, so SLO 4. So obviously this is a student learning outcome that is directly related to the policy class. But at some level, your project relates to policy. And so you may not be doing a project that is cut and dry of here's what I learned, here's how it's going to change policy, or here's how it impacts policy. But what you can think about and what you could discuss in your oral defense is how can policies be changed or adapted. And this could be at the local level, so local meaning policies that relate to your center, policies that relate to the county, to if you're part of a network of child care centers. So you can think on a local scale like that, or you can discuss how does your project and what you found, how could this relate to state policy and then national level policy. You don't have to cover each of these. This is why the word or is in there. But this should be something, if you don't write about it in your paper, like in the last section of your final paper will be a discussion, and you can put it in there, but if not, mention it in your oral defense. The other ones are pretty self-explanatory. So as you move through implementing your project, and later in the semester when you're writing your final papers and then in your oral defense, pay attention to this middle column with the different questions. These questions are what your committee is going to be answering to themselves, and then they'll score you in this column. And the way, so we piloted this over the summer, and the way it worked is your mentor is given a copy of this way ahead of time while they are reading your final paper right before your oral defense, and then during your oral defense, everyone completes it. And then I ask them to email me their copy. I compile all the scores, and then I email it back to you showing how each of us ranked you or scored you. And then there at the bottom, there's a place for comments. And so I compile it all, I send it back to you. The other thing, now, this Leadership Essentials, this is more what your mentor can answer. As your instructor, I can answer some of this. I can say yes or no, but you should be having ongoing communication with your mentor throughout your whole project. So this is where your mentor plays a big role in evaluating how you did. And so these are from the McCormick Center for Early Childhood Leadership. They describe different leadership essentials, and so we selected the ones that we felt like were not most important, but things that you could demonstrate through your advocacy project that your mentor and your committee would be able to say yes or no, you did this. And then at the bottom, this is the spot where your committee can provide additional comments. So I just wanted to give you this up front. It will be on our Canvas page. You can look at it as you go. Like I said, I'll be sharing this with your mentor when I send out the email one of the first weeks in the semester. So make sure you're familiar with this, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.